Hey guys, what's up? It's Monkey. Welcome to the 10th game of the season, Washington Wizards versus Milwaukee Bucks. And yeah, the Milwaukee Bucks, at least in this game, are rated as one of the lower rated teams in the league and probably aren't going to be very good, but I did want to play this game because at first I did not check the rosters before playing. I thought it would be us going up against Jabari Parker as well as Giannis Antetokounmpo, who are some of the two best young players in the league, and I thought, maybe the Bucks have developed them a little bit. Maybe these are two future superstars, but it turns out the Bucks traded Giannis for Goran Dragic and as well as Zoran Dragic, who is his brother, which is kind of weird how they traded for both of the brothers who were on the Phoenix Suns, which is really unfortunate because I'm not really sure why they would do that, why they would trade a young 6'10" shooting guard, future superstar, for, a slightly aging but good point guard as well as his little brother. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but that's what the Bucks decided to do, which is definitely, building for the present, not the future. And there's not really much point in going for the present if your present is maybe making an 8th seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs, because that's probably about what the Bucks' peak would be with this current team. But Jabari Parker, of course, is still on the team, and he still has a chance to become something special. It's just none of the rest of this Bucks team really had much to look forward to at all. And even in real life, they're a very young, exciting team that plays hard defense. In this game, they played some hard defense as well, but some of the young and excitement is definitely gone without Giannis Antetokounmpo on the team, unfortunately. So this Bucks team started out the game very, very feisty with Jabari Parker, hand in his face from Tyreke Evans, just nails a three-pointer, and then John Wall is going to come back on the other end and answer after passing it to Trevor Ariza, backing up the three-point line and hitting a three-pointer of his own. And one thing I did not expect from the Bucks is for them to come out firing on all cylinders offensively. They do have Larry Sanders patrolling the paint, one of the best defensive centers in the game of basketball, so I would not be too surprised if they're pretty good defensively as Bradley Beal hits another three, and the game is tied with 10 apiece, only 4 minutes into the game, so already both teams being very, very effective on offense. Jabari Parker luckily missed a pretty good look at a three, but you're not going to hit all of them, and Bradley Beal is just going to take advantage and dunk as Zoran Dragic, Goran Dragic's little brother, looked kind of lost on that transition play, and Jabari Parker hits a pull-up jumper in transition. He's been very, very impressive so far. Very hard to guard. He does have the size advantage on his matchup, Tyreke Evans. He has about a 2-inch height advantage, and Tyreke Evans, although he's a solid defender, is not exactly known to be, a world-class defender or anything. OJ Mayo is in the game. He's hitting jumpers. He's probably the Bucks' primary offensive weapon off of the bench, but most of this is going to, revolve around both Jabari Parker, who's cutting the rim for another layup, as well as Goran Dragic. Those are really by far the two best offensive players on the Bucks team. And John Wall hits a nice mid-range jumper off of the pass from Marcus Johnston, our rookie center, who's hopefully going to be a building block from the future because Marcin Gortat is at the age where he's starting to decline, so I'm really hoping this center can be a replacement for him. And CJ Watson is in the game, and he's hitting a three. I really, really love the addition of CJ Watson. I liked playing with our backup point guard last year, but I think CJ Watson is actually a pretty big upgrade, and he's a much better point guard. And I think just that, the fact that our bench is so much improved. Our starting lineup is not that much different from last year. We do have a rookie power forward in Joey Bradshaw starting instead of an 8, as CJ Watson hits a really nice mid-range jumper there. But they have similar games. Both of them have a mid-range. Both of them are fairly good defenders and rebounders for their position. And then, of course, we have Tyreke Evans instead of Trevor Ariza starting, although Trevor Ariza is, of course, still on the team, and he's probably our main dude off of the bench after CJ Watson. Those are like the 1-2 offensive punch off of the bench. CJ Watson almost gets a steal there, but unfortunately Goran Dragic is able to recover and then backs up to the three-point line. And Zoran Dragic is just going to fire, and this guy started to burn me with the three-pointers. He was very, very effective, and I was surprised. I kind of thought Zoran Dragic was a bit of a scrub because I know he's just kind of rookie in the NBA in real life, and I wasn't expecting too much of him. Maybe I underestimated him a little bit. Of course, he is the younger brother of a very, very good NBA player, so maybe the skill just runs in the family a little bit, but I am not guarding Zoran Dragic. Unfortunately, he doesn't burn me, but then Goran cuts to the rim. It's very confusing to keep track of both of their names because they're just so similar, and the Bucks are able to keep it close, at least midway through the first half. So as I was trying to finish my thought here, I think the team is a little bit different. The starting lineup isn't all that much upgraded from last year, although I do like playing with Tyreke Evans a little bit more than I like playing with either Paul Pierce, who we started out the season with, or with Trevor Ariza. but the bench is really the main thing that's been upgraded. Trevor Ariza off the bench is just such a huge asset to have, even though he's not in the starting lineup anymore, but he has declined a little bit, so that's okay, and we're running in transition again. John Wall is just going to pop the three with a man in his face, and normally that's not a smart shot to take with John Wall, although I have developed his outside shot a little bit, so he's definitely better in this game than he is in real life just because of that development. But Goran Dragic, not to be outdone, just steps back and hits one right in John Wall's face. So I take a dumb shot here out of the post, and the Bucks are going to run in transition, and Jabari Parker just taking it strong to the rim and avoids the contact from Tyreke Evans and manages to finish as well. But our bench is just so much better this year, and I think that's really what makes this a championship contender. At least in the Eastern Conference, we can contend for getting to the championship. I'm not sure if we can contend with winning the championship because the West is very, very good. But Domo there hits a long two-point jumper. Unfortunately, his foot was on the line. Tyreke Evans cutting the rim. He was cold, which was kind of strange because he did not miss very many shots today. I guess a bit of a spoiler alert, but Jabari Parker, of course, is not the best defender. He's not the quickest, and CJ Watson gets a nice steal, passes it to Tyreke Evans, and we're just adding insult to injury as Tyreke Evans just goes for the layup there instead of the dunk, and we are up to a 17-point lead, almost about to head into the halftime. And heading into the halftime stats here, our defense has been exceptional, holding the Bucks to 38% field goal percentage. Although it is the Bucks, they're not really the best offensive team, so I don't know how impressive that is, especially because they've lost Giannis on this association at least, and that's going to hurt them a lot. But coming out into the second half, the Bucks are not done yet. Zoran cuts the rim, he gets a nice layup, and then I'm passing it to Bradley Beal, who is going to hit the three. Bradley Beal kind of had a quiet day, but when I did give him some shot opportunities, he did knock down a few. I will admit he was kind of cold today, so that's the reason why I wanted to more run my offense through John Wall. I always run my offense through John Wall and Tyreke Evans instead of Bradley Beal. But Marcin Gortat gets a nice feed from the rookie power forward. He manages to finish, and the Bucks just cut to the rim. Terrible defense on my part because I just let Jabari Parker slip to the rim, and maybe I could have stolen that if I was a little bit more aware, but wasn't able to work out. Joey Bradshaw gets the rebound. Again, the created rookie. He's not a real person in real life. He's created by 2K, but overall I think 2K did a nice job with the rosters, except for one rookie who has a ridiculously high overall, and maybe we'll play him later on in the season. There is a rookie with like a 90 overall rating. As a rookie, I don't think that's very realistic, but maybe we'll see him later on. I believe he's on the Utah Jazz. Jabari Parker taking it strong to the rim in transition. He manages to get the roll. Very nice. Jabari Parker has been just unguardable today by Tyreke Evans, although Trevor Ariza, when he's in the game, has done a bit of a better job at it. And Nikola Mirotic is just left wide open. He's additionally on the Bucks now. He was in the Bulls, but I guess the Bucks may have signed him in the offseason. I don't believe they traded for him. And then John Wall is just going to cut to the rim and slam it. And when John Wall gets just a step on his defender, that is what is going to happen every time. So the Bucks have been hot this entire third quarter, and they cut the lead down to 5 after being down 17, but Tyreke Evans is trying to change those matters, and he goes to the rim strong and finishes over the contact from Nate Walters. He gets the and one, and he does convert the free throw as well, which can be a rarity because Tyreke Evans is not the best free throw shooter. And then CJ Watson, just a beautiful cut to the rim and a beautiful feed from Tyreke Evans, who was a point guard in college, so he does have some of those passing skills. And then CJ Watson playing some defense. He's going to get the steal from Nate Walters after the pass back, just swipe it from him. And then we're running in transition again. CJ Watson passes it up to Trevor Ariza, who slams it, and all of a sudden the Bucks were just down by 5. Now they're down by 10, and it's looking a little bit more hopeless for them. And Zoran Dragic just blows the lay in there, or maybe that's Goran, I'm not sure. Hard to tell them apart. And CJ Watson in transition hits the 3, and he is getting hype. I'm so happy to have CJ Watson on my team. He's just been an incredible player this particular game, and I'm really loving playing with him. And very excited to have that coming off of the bench because that is just such a weapon. I bet the Pacers wish they didn't let him go. And then the Bucks hit a 3 as well. CJ Watson is fading. He's going to miss. That was probably a bad shot. I was just taking a lot of shots with CJ Watson because he was hot. And then that leads to Zoran Dragic being left wide open in transition, and he's going to hit the 3. So the Bucks are keeping it close. They're only down by 3, and it's almost the fourth quarter. And then OJ Mayo hits a lay-in, almost uncontested. Very bad defense on that cut to the rim. And the Bucks are only down by 1 point. I'm very surprised. They outscored us by 16 in the third quarter. Wait, make it 14 as Bradley Beal hits the pull-up at the very end of the third quarter. And we're going to go into the fourth, only up by 3 points. So it's a close game. I was assuming maybe this might be a blowout, but the Bucks decided to make things interesting. and Trevor Ariza cuts the rim. He gets the slam off of the feed from Joey Bradshaw. Very nice ball movement. I love seeing that when players are cutting to the rim because they don't always do that. And then Larry Sanders, just picks up the bobbled pass, and it was tipped by Marcin Gortat, but unfortunately he was not able to get the steal. And Nate Walters in transition, he hits the three, and the Bucks have tied it at 83. They've come all the way back. I was very surprised. I decided to put Domo in the game here, or Donatas Mariunas, I think his name is. It's very difficult to pronounce. I'm just going to call him Domo. And that's just because Joey Bradshaw has been awful all game. He's really been hurting me. I was taking shots with him, and he is just a rookie and doesn't have the best offensive game. So I don't know if that's a good idea, but for the most part, they were good shot attempts, and they just weren't falling. So someone on the team had to be cold, I guess, with John Wall and C.J. Watson playing so well. There had to be a guy playing not so well to counterbalance that, and that, for the most part, was Joey Bradshaw, as well as Bradley Beal, who kind of had a cold game as well. But C.J. Watson just continuing his hot day with a three-pointer, and that gives us a 4-point lead. And so we're really looking strong here. We've got some momentum, and of course we are playing at home as well against a Bucks team which doesn't have that much offensive firepower. And Tyreek Evans is terrible defense by the Bucks. Unfortunately, Mirotic did not come out to contest that shot. He really should have, but whatever. And then Marcin Gortat is inbounding the ball. Important rule of basketball, who's the most dangerous person on inbound play? The inbounder, and Marcin Gortat just cuts to the rim and finishes because the Bucks forgot that the inbounder needs to be guarded as well. There's 5 guys on the basketball court, not 4. But the Bucks are running in transition here again, and they're going to get the relatively difficult finish, I suppose, from Goran Dragic. So they are keeping things interesting, but then eventually pulled away. I didn't show a lot of this fourth quarter because it was just a free throw battle, to be completely honest. There's so many fouls called, and most of the points scored in the fourth quarter were free throws. And believe it or not, those last 2 clips I showed you, they were very, very far apart in game time, but there were no made field goals in between those. It was all free throws. It was ridiculous. So, unfortunately, no climatic finish, but almost all of these games have had a climatic finish. So every once in a while, you have to have one that's a little bit easier. But we managed to win by 9 points. Tyreek Evans is your player of the game, 27 points, and he shot 8 for 13. And he was 0 for 3 from the three-point line. So, technically, he was 8 for 10 from 2-point shots, which is just incredible, as well as 11 for 13 from the free throw line. Very, very impressive. John Wall was 9 for 10 from the free throw line, and John Wall finally does not win a player of the game. It's rare when that happens. Bradley Beal, obviously, with a cold day, he was 5 for 14. Joey Bradshaw was 4 for 16. Really, really not good to see that. I was hoping for more from my rookie, but he is still a rookie. He's got a lot to learn, so I don't have super high expectations for him yet. And even though he did not play in this game, I really should not have taken so many shots with him. That was almost my bad more than it was his bad. Unfortunately, Trevor Ariza didn't really give me a whole lot, even though he did play a lot of minutes. 27 minutes for a bench player is quite a bit, and he only had 4 points. But looking at the Bucks here, they really struggled as well in terms of the shooting. Nikola Mirotic was 4 for 13. That's quite bad. Jabari Parker really the only bright spot, and he shot below 50% as well. Goran Dragic shot 50%, but that's what it is. He's probably the best player at the team in this point. And overall, the total percentages here and all, 30 free throws from the Bucks, 33 from my team. Really like to see that. And overall, the stats look pretty realistic now, and I'm really liking the way that this game is turning out. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back in a few days with the next video. Farewell.